Welcome back to this new reading log. So I just finished reading The Gray Man. I read 4, 5, and 6. This is by Katsura Hoshino. This is a big fantasy with a big monster called Akuma, and we got these people called the Orders. There are a bunch of exorcists and just different branches around the world. Now in last volume, Alan Walker, a main character, had to fight a big group called Noah, and they found out that this group has been targeting people with this thing called innocent. Now there's two types. There's parasitic, where they get their skills and power within their body, versus someone who wield a weapon and they get their innocence from there. I hope that makes sense. If not, I'm so sorry, because I do get confused sometimes about the thing called innocent, but I kind of understand it now. But anyway, Alan Walker was badly injured, especially his eye. His eye is the key to see if there's Akuma nearby. However, he was able to recuperate because they had to investigate a guy who they thought it was a vampire, but he wasn't a vampire. They believe that he's like Alan Walker. He has an innocent in his teeth, so he relies on his teeth for his skills and all. And then after that, they realized that he has potential to be like them, and so they took him in, and then they went on to another adventure because they're trying to find a bunch of generals that works for the Order has been either going missing, or the main enemy has been targeting the generals because of their innocence. And so I think the enemy can like grab their innocence, and that's the whole really thing about this story, is to get rid of innocence or take their innocence, because it's a powerful thing. And so, but then along the way, they were on this boat, and suddenly this big dude or a monster show up, and they found out that this person used to be an old comrade, and they believe that he might have betrayed the Order and that his innocent went crazy. So there was a huge fight at the very end. It didn't go well because something happened to Alan Walker's innocent. Sorry, this is not Alan Walker. This is one of his comrades. But yeah, something happened to his innocent. I can't say too much because that would be like a spoiler. I was about to read more, but I didn't want to start a new arc. And then in the end of the volume, they also met the Asia branch, because the fight took place in Japan. And then I believe their branch, the Alan Walker's branch where he worked under, is from Europe. But yeah, really nice big fantasy story, all about monster and exorcist. And the angle is to really like save people from going crazy or becoming Akuma. Yes, Akuma are like monster, and their main enemy is named Earl. Like they really want to take him down before he can cause another war and take control of the world. Also, sometimes this story can be sad because you got all this exorcist who's trying to save people and who wants to do their job. And at the same time, there's been a lot of killing from the Akuma, because they also want to get rid of the exorcist, while the Orders wants to get rid of the Akuma, vice versa. Yeah, because a lot of the guys from the Orders either left their family to become an exorcist, either because they want to, save their family, or they made a deal to stuff like that. But yeah, can be sad, and there's a lot of action. And yeah, it's a really interesting story. This manga is in the early 2000s. I really like the illustration. I really want to see this the anime one day, but for now I just want to read the manga. So if you guys have read this, let me know. And yeah, really good story so far. Here's another manga that I went ahead and try to read it, but you know what, I think I'm gonna drop. I actually almost finished reading this first volume, but I just couldn't like it. So this one's called The Misfit of the Demon King Academy. History's strongest Demon King reincarnates and goes to school with his descendants. So yeah, he is a Demon King. 2,000 years ago, he was a Demon Lord, and he decided to purposely get killed so this way he can reincarnate, thinking that the world would get better. Well, it sort of did. So after he was reincarnated, he received an invitation to go to a demon school academy. However, no one recognized him, and apparently the founder of this academy isn't really under his name. It is someone else, and people kind of fear him because he's very powerful during the entrance for the exam. Like, he showed his true colors, and so everybody in the school have the same uniform except him. He wears like a black uniform, and it kind of represents being a misfit, because I guess either he's just too powerful or he's just not the same like others. Our main character's name is Anat. He's sort of conceited and obnoxious because, yes, he is the Demon King, but in this time, no one recognized him as Demon King. And there's also like different classes like Highborn, High Blood, and Mixed Breed. He's considered Mixed Breed because his parents are human. And of course, the High Lords, not the High Lords, the High Bloods always look down upon on the Mixed Breed. But other than that, it's not bad of a story. But I just found it super repetitive. He just keep going about, yeah, he is the Demon King. What's wrong with this timeline? The magic is weak. Everybody's weak. How come nobody recognizes me? And stuff like that. I just find it kind of boring in my opinion. Yeah, there are some fighting moments, but it doesn't like compels me to keep reading, if that makes sense. So yeah, I'm just gonna drop this. But you know what? I tried. That is why I only have the first volume. Here's another manga that I tried to read, but I just couldn't finish it. This one's called Boarding School Juliet. It's like Romeo and Juliet. You get these two opposing students who doesn't like each other. They came from two different continents, but they go to the same school. We got our main character, Persia. She's supposed to be Juliet. And then you got Romeo. His name is Inuzuka. However, Inuzuka actually have the biggest crush on Persia. However, he has to hide his true feelings because they're supposed to hate each other. But on the other hand, he actually likes her. And so one day he finally confessed and she thinks this is not right. However, she sees some potential in him and so she decided to go out with him. In my opinion, Inuzuka seems more obsessed toward Persia. Well, Persia, I think she wants to take it slow and try to avoid as much as possible because she doesn't want her classmate to find out about their relationship. But on the other hand, Inuzuka has different plans for himself and about this relation. And so yeah, it's alright. I just feel like I don't think it's vibing with me. Maybe this type of story is not for me as well, and so I decided to just quit reading halfway. Yes, that's very true. Sometimes I just don't want to force myself to read more, even though I'm not gonna enjoy it for sure. And that is why I usually try to read them at my library first before buying. But I saw this for a really good price and decided to purchase it. And you know what? Yeah, it's just not really for me. And that is also why I only get first volume when I'm unsure about a certain series. And I'm glad I only got the first volume because you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna just move on. So what we have next is called Tokyo ASP. This is an omnibus, the first volume. This is not bad of a story. It's full of action. One day there were like flying fishes and whoever get encounter with these fishes gets powers apparently. So our main character Rinka, her power is to go through like walls except humans, and then she meets a guy who is in the same school as him named Kyotaro. Kyotaro, he can jump places to places, but when it comes to their power, they're still trying to figure out how it works. Other than that, they're not the only one with powers because some people can see these fishes, and again, if they encounter with the fish, they get certain powers. Ever since this fish phenomenal, some people use their power for bad thing like robbery and also want to take over certain part of the city. And yeah, it is causing a lot of chaos. And now it is Rinka and Kyoto's job to stop them because they'd rather become heroes and not use their power for bad things. On top of that, Rinka's dad has power as well. It's mostly regards to magnetisms, and they also met a friend who's been taking care a penguin because one day they did see this flying penguin and they believe this penguin has power as well. And since this girl can't take care of the penguin, they decide to take care of the penguin. And then one day the group of people who wants to use their power for bad things wanted to make a deal to the Yakuza because that girl is from the Yakuza and they want to take over all the properties from that Yakuza family. But Rinka and Kyotaro didn't want that to happen, and so they had no choice but to stop them and also save that girl because she was kidnapped from these guys. This story is definitely getting interesting because after the fight with the Yakuza and the group of gang, There was another group who decided to intervene, and they also have powers, but then I think their plan is the same goes for like, oh, they want to bring chaos, they don't want peace and stuff like that. And now they're thinking, who are these people? And Rinka's friend Kyotaro, apparently Kyotaro knows them because one of them knows Kyotaro. So Kyotaro is actually adopted from this family, that group that came suddenly out of nowhere. He's actually from a different country. And yeah, it is getting super interesting. A lot of action. I'm actually looking forward to read more of this because it's kind of different. You know, it's all of a sudden people got their powers, but then that might cause a lot of mayhem and confusion. And so yeah, we'll see how the story goes and progress. Now they did like battle with this certain character from the story, and then she got involved with this group of gang, and then suddenly she's with them because she had really have no choice. Now I forgot her name. That girl and Rinka don't really get along, but somehow right now they have to because it seems like they don't have pretty much any choice. Yeah, so this is an omnibus. A really nice story so far. It gets to the point pretty quick. Illustration is nice. A little bit different from other manga, but yeah, it's still cool to read. I had this manga for a while now, and yeah, looking forward. Okie dokie, I just finished reading this series called Correspondence from the End of the Universe. I read 1, 2, and 3. It is story and art by Minota. I really like these manga, good quality, and the pages is somewhat different, kind of like really nice paper. But here's some insight. This is the illustration. I really like it. Now, let's get to the story. Marco suddenly got kidnapped. Well, he wasn't technically kidnapped. His fate was already decided about 10 years ago when he had a dream about getting kidnapped by an alien. So now that he's sort of getting kidnapped by an alien, he can't leave this planet for the next 10 years because their job is basically make planets and stars. I think it's a very cool story. Not only that, like he's able to travel other planets that his comrades or co-workers made before, and he can see like what other planets life look like. Yeah, basically he got kidnapped. At first he tried to escape because he doesn't want to stay here, and at the same time he was supposed to propose to his girlfriend, and now he's worried if the girlfriend might forget about him, or you know, his dream of getting married might not happen. But then after trying to escape, he realized he can't escape, and during that time he encountered a ghost fish who happened to stole his heart. Yes, he doesn't have a heart now, and now his coworkers and Marco are trying to find this fish so that way he can get his heart back before the 10 years is up, because if not, he will likely mostly die. And speaking of that, when he does die in certain occasion, they don't die, they get resurrected. That's one of the benefits of working in this facility that makes planets and stars. So other than that, I really like the story. He does meet a little girl from the library because there's a mirror that connects this little girl's planet to this facility's library, and ever since then she's been coming in and out to play with Marco or anybody. And then this is also another alien that he encountered and met and kind of saved because his people clone whenever they want or whoever they want. But if someone like gets killed or injured, they basically end up just throwing them away, and Marco didn't want that to happen, so he saved this little alien. So cute. This story is just full of adventure. It's fun to read about all these different planets, the different culture, and some planets don't even have living organism. It's just simple and plain. But now Marco has accepted the fact that he can't leave, and he just have to go along the ride and just live as much as he can until he can go back home. But at the same time, the main goal is to find his heart before the time is up. So they've been doing a lot of research, and they finally found a doctor who's been trying to catch this fish, and he agreed to help with them. So this way it's like best of both worlds. And yeah, this series, I think there's only 5 volumes so far. I'm not sure if this is a finished manga, but yeah, I really like the story. I really love the series. Though it kind of started slow, I felt like, okay, but there was part of me that I didn't want to continue reading. But you know what? I'm gonna just read it and see, especially if Marco is able to go back home, especially that. So let me know if you guys have read this. I think it's a very cool story. It's all about space and aliens, and we don't really have that much when it comes to manga. But yeah, really looking forward to read more of this series. I decided to read Before Bed. So this one's called A Condition Called Love. I read 7 and 8, and this is by Megumi Morino. So this is just all about teen romance. We got our main character Hotaru and Hananoi. So I'm not sure if they're in their final year or second year. Now these guys just been dating for the past 6 months. Hananoi, he's very experienced with dating, and so when it comes to Hotaru, everything is new for her. However, their relationship started really rocky as a trial, and then they realized that they really like each other. They decide to go furthermore with their dating wise. So it's not bad of a story. It's just very like lovey-dovey teen romance. They're both just trying to figure out about their relationship. Now Hananoi, he's slowly opening up to his classmate, not just to Hotaru. I think I can finally understand why he acts the way he acts. It's because he grew up with his parents not being around, and all he wanted was like attention and love. And then when he was going out with his ex-girlfriend, he thought that giving whatever they want, it'll make them happy, except it was the opposite. And he's just been trying to figure out what he can do to make someone happy. But everything changed when he met Hotaru. Hotaru was very different. She was very like, I guess, being patient, very understanding. And it kind of gave him a chance to like, okay, I think I know what I need to do. It's just a very cute romance. At first, I wasn't vibing with it, and I decided to just keep reading and give it more chance. And I kind of slowly getting into it. I mean, I read 7 to 8, and at first I thought I was gonna drop this, but you know what? It's getting good. We get to know more about Hananoi. Their relationship is getting to the next level. Things are getting spicy, but other than that, it's not bad of a story. We did meet his father. He came to visit one time, and he had to leave to go to London because he's actually like half British and half Japanese. So he was out for a week, and it was their first time long distance relationship. So of course they kept in touch, and being apart was kind of hard, but after that everything went well. Yeah, really cute lovey-dovey teen romance. I think I am gonna read more to see where it goes, because it's not bad. Also, we can't forget, when it comes to romance, there's always that third person in the picture. So there is, his name is Yao. He's actually a childhood friend of Hotaru. He has the biggest crush on Hotaru, but now that she's taken and in love with someone, it's really hard for him to be around with them. And I kind of feel bad for him. He seems to be a nice guy, but let's just say he's too late. Someone took her, and yeah, we'll see how that thing progress when it comes to him. I mean, he almost kind of confessed to her, but they were by a train track, and so she didn't really hear him unless she did. But yeah, I felt bad for him. But there are some other couples in the story. Yeah, really, again, cute story. Let me know what you guys think about this manga. It seems like a very popular teen romance. Usually I'm very picky when it comes to teen romance, but in Surprise, I really don't mind the story so far. Otherwise, I would have dropped it like long time ago. I was debating at first, but you know what? I think I'm just gonna keep going and see where the story goes. Finally, we have a new volume of this series called Go With The Clouds, North by Northwest. This is volume 7, and this is by Aki Iri. This is actually really a good series. At first it was based in Iceland. We have our main character Kay. His life there is mostly like slice of life. He likes to travel around Iceland, do a little bit of investigation, because his family has a skill. I think it's most to do with sound, something like that. His grandfather has its own, let's just say, quote unquote power, And then right now, the main focus of this story is his little brother. His brother has some power as well. Something happened to his brother, and now he's trying to investigate about his past because he's actually, let's just say, missing. And now he really wants to know what happened to him in the past. And so he's been asking his old friends or classmates, and most of the classmates actually fear the little brother because he does something whenever he touches people, and it's kind of spooky, honestly. Now, growing up, Kay, I believe, left when he was maybe young to go Iceland to live with his grandfather, and then the little brother was under their relatives, and he found out that his brother was missing, and then after that he went to Japan to find out the truth. And then he found out later that the brother was actually in Iceland. He was there to find his older brother, and they reunited, and then something happened. And now he's just very curious about the brother's past because it seems like every single classmates don't like him, and they always say not to get too near him because whenever he touch you, which is the brother, something happens. So yeah, really like this story. Unfortunately, it's a slow release. But I gotta say, it also makes me curious about the little brother because he seems very mysterious. And whenever he encounters people, and then whenever people talks about the little brother, they just fear him. And this story is going so good. Now it's just all about the brother, very mysterious. So hopefully volume 8 might come out soon because volume 7 took about a year. So definitely recommend this. It's a slice of life, a little bit of mystery, detective, and let's just say supernatural because they have sort of powers and a little bit of romance here and there. But right now, Kay is in Japan trying to investigate about the little brother. So yeah, guys, give this a try. It's really good. Yes, I have a reading log this week because next week I just want to read all about BL and One Yuri series since it is Pride Month and it's been on my plan. And this week I did quite read a lot, which I'm very proud. That means I did have a lot of free time. So let's start with The Gray Man. I haven't read this series for a while. It's getting good. Our main character, something happened, no spoiler. The next two I did drop because it wasn't vibing for me, and that is Boarding School Juliet, The Misfit of Demon King Academy. Next we have Tokyo ASP. Really like the story so far about people suddenly getting powers. Now this series has only 8 volumes, so really a big fan of small series. Then we have next is Correspondence from the End of the Universe. I really like the story so far. It's all about aliens and learning about other planets. It's a big fantasy. Okay, what we have next is A Condition Called Love. At first I had a plan of dropping this manga series, but you know what, it's not that bad. It's just that sometimes it's too lovey-dovey for me, and I think I'm getting the understanding that our main character act the way he acts because of his family. And you know what, I'm slowly maybe a big fan, but not totally a big fan, if that makes sense. And lastly, I'm so happy that they finally come out a next volume. So this one's called Go With The Clouds, North by Northwest. It's getting super interesting because the big brother is trying to find his younger brother, and he doesn't know too much about his past, and it's a big mysterious. I just hope that volume 8 will come out soon, but I have a feeling it won't come out until next year. But yeah, guys, really good read this week. I'm not complaining. And yeah, so next week is all about BL and Yuri. And again, thank you for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think about this series. Have you read them? Or if you have any other series that you currently reading, let me know. And I'll see you guys next time.